Hello everyone, and welcome back to Steins, my darling's embrace. I'm G, and we have just had a complete failure of a time trying to get Daru to fall out of love with SUZUHA. Twice, actually. Both the Ferris strategy and the verbal abuse strategy did not work. So, at this point, it's just looking bad for Marty McFly. I mean, SUZUHA. Anyways, today's plan was a complete and total failure. Instead of crushing Daru, I've done irreversible damage to SUZUHA's heart. Everything she had said to him ended up bouncing back at her. She crawls her way back downstairs, not unlike a zombie, retreating into the brown tube workshop. This is a perfect example of the boomerang effect. Considering how deep those cuts must be, I doubt she'll be on her feet again today. SUZUHA was given a very clear look at just how perverted her own father is. I wouldn't be surprised if she's lost all faith in humanity at this point. Unfortunately, our current situation doesn't leave us with much time to mourn. Komima starts on the 15th. There's just no time left. Even if I have to do it alone, I have to figure out how to fix this.
Daru sure is working extra hard. Well, at least he's in good spirits.
Mary, myself, and Kursu are the only ones in the lab. Daru's shut himself away in the development room as usual. Mary's been working on a costume for Komima. As for Kursu... Christina, what are you even doing here?
What do you mean? I just wanted to pay you guys a visit.
Daru's taken over the development room for the foreseeable future, so there's not much for you to do here. What, do you have that much free time?
Absolutely not. Unlike you, I have plenty of things I need doing.
Then I bet you must be lonely, a little babe like you, still with her Mongolian spot. You probably miss your mother's teeth, no?
I don't miss anything, and I don't have a Mongolian spot.
Then why are you here?
Well, I came here to see my good friend Mayuri. Right, Mayuri? Christian and Mayushi are besties. Right? And also, Christian's an important lab member too. She can come over whenever she wants. There you have it. Understand? If anything, you're the one who seems to have way too much free time. How about getting a job?
Surely you jest. You couldn't find a man busier than me if you searched the entirety of Japan.
Then what exactly are you doing here?
I'm about to speak when the development room curtains open. I'm pooped. Time for a little break. It goes without saying that I'm here to speak to Daru. If possible, I would have preferred it to be just the two of us, but beggars can't be choosers. Daru, there's something I want to ask you. Do you have a minute? I'm really tired right now. Can you keep it short? Yeah, it won't take too long, I promise. No more tricks, no more grand plans. Just like the art of war says, know your enemy and yourself, and you have nothing to fear in 100 battles. To start with, neither SUZUHA nor I know exactly what Daru finds attractive about her. This whole thing started when she hugged him, but there's no way he'd be this attached just because of that. That was simply the catalyst. There might be a variety of other reasons why things got this bad. If we could figure that out, the solution to the problem might naturally come into view. At least that's why I'm hoping. This is a full frontal assault. We've been too reliant on clever plans and tricks. None of those things really mean much if we don't attack head-on first. All battles in history start and end with a full frontal assault. So, what is it you wanted to ask me? I'll get straight to the point. What exactly do you like about SUZUHA? Daru isn't the only one surprised by my directness. Both Mayuri and Kursu are, too. What do you ask? 2 reasons. I hold up 2 fingers and thrust them in front of Daru's face. The first is that while our lab doesn't expressly forbid interlab romance, it'd be a major pain if problems arose between people somewhere down the line. So this is me wanting to get a better grasp of the current situation. What's the other reason? The second is just pure curiosity, to be honest. No tricks. Making up some detailed excuse would only complicate the matter. Sometimes simple is best.
Actually, I'm kind of curious too. Mayushi too. Daru-kun always used to go on and on about Face-chan, so I was wondering why you suddenly jumped ship to Suzu-san.
I thought this would be more difficult with Kursu and Mayuri around, but it looks like they might prove to be quite useful. Women can't help but want to talk romance. It's part of their nature. Even Daru won't be able to get out of this one. Wait, don't want to know that badly?
Yeah, Mayushi wants to hear all about it. Likewise.
Okay, fine. I don't really want to, but I guess I don't mind telling you guys a little bit. As usual, Daru's choice of words makes me unsure as to whether he's pretending to be tsundere or something else entirely. To be honest, I had zero interest in her at first. How do I put this? It's like she wasn't even on my radar. This might not sound right coming from me, but you know, I'm an earnest guy, and Fairy's Town was the only woman for me back then. But I guess her flag had already been raised, and she totally had the hots for me. I didn't even realize it. That one's on me. That's why I get for being so popular with the ladies.
Oh, so that's what happened. Wait, are you saying that she made the first move?
Well, I guess she did. Or did she? I'm surprised at just how much he's retconned the story in his head, but it seems like Mayuri and Kurisu are genuinely impressed. So was that the start of it? You know, when SUZUHA hugged you? Huh? How do you know about that, Ocarine? I just happened to see it. Oh jeez, you saw that? That's so embarrassing. It's all true, SUZUHA just happened to be there when I came to the lab. We were talking like normal, but then she suddenly dove into my arms. I'm guessing she couldn't resist my incredible pheromones. This is the story he's rolling with? I started to believe that blue robot cats from the future exist. I never really believed in destiny or the whole red string of fate thing, you know? That stuff's basically the opposite of science. But in the heat of the moment, I couldn't help but think that it was fate.
Fate, huh? Like some sort of sixth sense or something?
Well, you're a scientist, so you might not believe me, but I really felt it. I think that's proof enough that fate really does exist.
I didn't say I don't believe you. I mean, the sixth sense is actually being researched in the scientific community. Truthfully, while there's no solid proof that it exists, there's also no proof that it doesn't. Which means it could go either way. And anyway, I think it'd be romantic if fateful encounters like that really did exist. You're real romantic, Chris-chan.
I nearly called Kurisu a mainstream woman, lol, but I hold myself back from calling her Mayuri out. None of this is important. I know this much. The moment SUZUHA-tan, oh gracious, the moment SUZUHA-tan held me, I felt like I'd been struck by lightning. Like, I felt like I'd been reunited with a lover from a past life, like I knew her already or something. That's not too far off the mark. She isn't a total stranger, so how's your daughter, you idiot? And? Huh? I think everyone here gets why SUZUHA suddenly showed up on your, radar. But that wasn't my question. I want to know what exactly you like about her. Specifics. Everything, duh. Daru answers my question instantly. Everything. Her face, hair, body, voice, taste, and clothes, how she's bright and cheerful, her courage, everything about her is great.
Hurricane's super duper in love.
That's right, everything. She could murder a person and I'd probably still forgive her. Her good parts, her bad parts, all of it. Except everything. That's what love is. Daru breathes heavily through his nose. Comparatively, I can feel my heart growing colder and colder. If everything he said was true, I'd be more than happy to give Daru my blessings. But the sad reality is that those feelings of his are all delusions and assumptions born from a stupid misunderstanding. It's honestly sickening. I'm done with seeing Daru in such a pathetic state. I can stand to watch this farce no more. And so in the heat of the moment, I let my stream of consciousness just run out of my mouth. Daru, this is just paternal love. What? That's right. What you're feeling isn't the romantic sort of love. It's the kind that one feels for their daughter. I immediately regret my choice of words. But it's too late now. Daru isn't going to let this go. There's no walking this back. What are you talking about, Ocarine? What does that have anything to do with how I feel about SUZUHA-tan? That's just how it seems to me, that's all. That's all? You have any idea how weird that sounds? You're the last person I want to hear that from. What the hell's that supposed to mean? You tell me, you've never felt this way about another person. I'm not sure you've ever felt anything about anyone. It's not exactly fun being lectured about emotions by someone who barely has any. An eye for an eye, I guess. Daru's tone of voice gradually grows more angry, and I can tell I'm not too far behind. Unfortunately, I can't stop myself from swinging back. Huh, and I certainly don't want to be lectured by someone who doesn't even know why he feels the way he does. You just go on and on about love this and love that. Ugh. Stop it, Okabe. And anyway, what makes you think that SUZUHA feels the same way about you? I'm shocked you haven't caught on yet. Excuse me? What are you talking about, Ocarine? SUZUHA-tan was the one who came on to me. I didn't care what you're even talking about. All she did was give you an innocent hug. That's not that big of a deal. What? I seriously have no clue what you're talking about anymore, Ocarine. Why do you keep trying to crap all over my feelings? You have some sort of grudge against me? Hashida, stop it! Hey, that's enough, you two! Mayuri and Kurisu come rushing in between Daru and I. I feel sorry for the both of them, but there's no stopping me now. It's not like I'm enjoying this.
As hard to believe as this might seem, I'm doing this for you.
For me? Like hell, if you were really trying to help me, you'd never say this stuff.
Daru suddenly grins, almost as if he's figured it all out.
Ah, I see. I get it now. I see, so that's what this is all about.
Please, enlighten me.
You're actually in love with SUZUHA-tan, aren't you? That's why you keep saying all this crazy stuff.
What?
I knew it. That face you're making says I hit the mark.
Actually,
didn't you used to call her part-time warrior? Now all of a sudden you're calling her SUZUHA. I thought that was weird. That all makes sense now. That's why you keep trying to get in our way. I totally get it.
What's wrong with him? What is he saying?
You should have just said so from the start. Why the cowardly tactics? Paternal love? Seriously?
Ugh. And just like that, I'm totally losing it. What the hell do you think I'm going through all of this for? Oh, green! Mary calls out to me on the verge of tears, but even that isn't enough to stop us now. I'm saying all of this because I'm trying to help you.
Huh? Why are you getting angry? Shouldn't I be the one angry? How exactly are you helping me? If you really want to help me, how about just leave me alone?
Fine, whatever, I'm done. I can't. If this is how you're going to be, I'll just put it all out there. Listen well, SUZUHA is... That's the one thing I can't afford to say. SUZUHA is... There's no stopping me. She's your daughter from the future. Everyone goes quiet. The room is engulfed in a cold silence, as if everything had just dropped dead. The ticking of the clock rings throughout the room. I said it. I really ended up saying it. I spilled SUZUHA's secret. Now they all know who she is, that she's from the future, that she's Daru's daughter. All that classified info down the drain. Now everyone knows. She's your daughter from the future. How long has the silence been going? It feels like it's been an eternity. Kurisu, Mayuri, and Daru. They all look at me in shock. How can I blame them? How could Daru have known that the object of his affections is his own daughter from the future? I can think of nothing more shocking than that. Forgive me, SUZUHA. I had no choice. I have no idea what punishment awaits you, but it has to be better than not existing. It's finally over.
It is fracking ridiculous.
Daru breaks the silence, his voice showing little sign of shock or terror. Huh? Daru, what did you just...
Don't make me repeat myself, that's too stupid even for you. I get that you're desperate to pull SUZUHA and I apart, but time travel? Really?
He doesn't believe me? I was being completely serious. I'm not lying, this is honest-to-goodness truth. Okabe. Kurisu, not you too? I honestly have no idea why you're so intent on breaking them up, but this has to stop. Maybe she thinks Okarine's just really tired. You too? Mayuri? Not a single person believes what I said? You've got it all wrong, I'm not making this up. SUZUHA came here from 26 years in the future and she's Daru's daughter. That's why you felt like you knew her already, and that's why the love you feel for her isn't the romantic kind, it's paternal love.
I'm disappointed in you, Ocarine.
Daru.
You're so desperate to break us apart that you'd even make up a bogus story like that?
That's not it, I'm just trying to help your daughter.
Whatever, I've heard more than enough. Just stop talking.
Daru, please, you have to understand, I
said stop talking.
Daru's response is cold, calm, and collected. Daru.
I always knew you were deep in your chuny BS, but I didn't think you'd go this far. I guess I overestimated you.
I swear,
That's enough. If you're just going to keep talking in circles, I don't know if I can stay here at the lab anymore. That's why I never want you to bring this up again.
Daru. A gape of root. Here you go, you're fine with Dr. P, right? Yeah, thanks. No problem. I open the can and gulp it down. Yeah. Jeez, don't just chug it. SUZUHA pats my back gently. After I finally settle back down, I go back to sipping on my Dr. P. I'm sorry, SUZUHA. For what? I ended up spilling the beans to everyone. It's okay, it's not like anybody believed you, right?
Well, yeah. We're standing on Akiba Bridge, the one connecting UPX and Daiburu, and looking down at people as they come and go. I take a moment to think back on what happened after everything fell apart. Daru left while the atmosphere in the lab was still sour, and it wasn't long before Kurusu and Mayuri took their leave as well. None of them had anything to say to me. Now that I've had time to cool down, I can't exactly blame them for the way that they reacted. When SUZUHA first admitted all this to me, I didn't believe it either. Nobody out there would believe a story like that, especially not in that situation.
Okabe Rintaro.
SUZUHA suddenly speaks up.
Okabe Rintaro, why did you believe my story?
What do you mean, why? You asked me to, didn't you?
I mean, sure, but most people would never believe something as out there as that.
It's not like I just blindly bought into what you said. I had my doubts at first, too.
I guess that's true.
We both continue to people watch. But even the time machine I
showed you at the top of Radicon isn't enough to definitively prove anything. Without evidence that I actually wrote in that thing to come here, there's no proof that it isn't just some fake. I could have just as easily stumbled across it and used it as a part of my lie. To be honest, I'm surprised you believed me.
After hearing her summarize it like that, even I'm kind of surprised at how easily I trusted her. Yeah, I suppose it is pretty strange. Back then, I still doubted parts of your story. Now, I believe you 100%.
Why?
I'm trying to figure out that one myself. We both go silent again, watching people walk along the road. Could there be more people like SUZUHA out there? Time travelers just walking around the city like it's no big deal? They start thinking about it.
Thanks for everything up until now, Okabe Rintaro.
Her voice was gentle. SUZUHA, what's gotten into you?
I'll take care of things myself from here on out. You don't have to do anything anymore, Okabe Rintaro.
By yourself? You have some sort of plan?
Well, I don't have one right now, but I'm sure I'll think of something. It'll be fine.
Part of that is fine. You won't be fine without a proper plan. And you don't even know a thing about Komima. What can you possibly hope to accomplish by yourself?
But, there's the attractor field. I'm sure things will be okay. Even if Mom and Dad don't meet at Komima this time around, they should meet each other eventually. That's why you don't have to do any...
What the hell are you thinking? After hearing my own voice echoing off the buildings, I realized just how loudly I yelled.
Okay, hey?
It'll be fine. You can't possibly believe that. True, according to the attractor field theory, Daru and Amanayuki will end up meeting and there's a decent chance that you'll be born. That's not guaranteed to happen. Listen to me, as long as a phenomenon can't be confirmed, it's basically a coin flip as to whether it'll occur or not. There's no way of knowing if you'll be born or not until the time comes. But the problem is that when the time does come, it'll be too late to fix things. Why am I getting so fired up over this? I guess my beef with Daru is still weighing heavily upon my shoulders. I can tell that a part of me is trying to be calm and composed about this. My words still spill out nonetheless. You understand? Don't you dare say it's fine ever again. There's nothing wrong with complaining. Hell, complain as much as you want. I'd be happy to lend you an open ear. But don't make it sound like you're giving up. If you ever say something like that again, don't think I'll let you off the hook. What am I doing? This isn't like me at all. Only fools let their emotions speak for them. However, after I let it all out, I can feel relief start to set in.
Okabe Rintaro.
SUZUHA sounds like she could vanish at any moment as she utters my name.
Besides, how can you say you're fine when you look like you're about to cry? Stop trying to act tough.
If you're going to lie, you could at least try to keep a straight face so it's not so obvious. Dummy. Gentle, pleasant smell reaches my nose. I feel a warm, soft sensation on my shoulder. This is...
Thanks, Uncle Ocarine.
What are you doing?
Sorry, please just let me stay like this for a little while.
I try to speak, but the damp sensation from where SUZUHA's cheek is touching me makes me swallow my words. I try imagining it. Going 26 years into the past. Departing on a lonely journey to a time when not a single person knows me. How would that feel? The cityscape. The culture. Even the clothes that people are wearing. A world that I only know through videos and people talking about the past. No friends. No family. And even if there was, I could never reveal my identity to them. Nobody to rely on. I'd be all alone. She's usually so cheerful when she's around us, but I wonder how she really spends her days in this time period.
Hey, Uncle Ocarine, why are you going so far from me?
SUZUHA asks, her face still pressed against my clothes. I wonder. To be honest, even I don't know why I'm getting so hot-blooded about all this. However, if I had to name a reason... Because you're Daru's daughter.
My dad?
Yeah, sure he's been kind of pathetic as of late, but he's still a super haka. He's still my right-hand man. If his daughter is in trouble, it's my responsibility to be there for her.
Oh, because I'm his daughter.
Perhaps I'm just imagining it, but SUZUHA seems even more downtrodden than before. I hear a familiar song ring out from the giant monitor on UPX. I don't know the artist or the song name. But I'm certain I've heard it before.
But you know, all that stuff might be a lie.
What do you mean?
Me being Hashidai Taru's daughter.
What if that's just a...
What if that's just a big lie and I'm doing this because I enjoy messing with you? Would you still trust me, even then?
Of course.
Why?
Because you're a lab mem.
Lab mem?
You're one of my cherished lab mems. I can't just turn away when you're making such a sad face. How could I not trust you?
Cherished.
Her soft, whispering voice brushes against my ears. Her chestnut-colored hair flutters in the wind, caressing my cheek. The tears that had wet my shoulders had dried up. The place where she's touching me feels hot. That's why I...
Uncle Ocarine?
Amane SUZUHA, you completely fallen into my trap! SUZUHA looks up at me, dumbfounded. Indeed, my words have charmed you into giving me your complete and total trust. For that is my true motive, the goal of the mad scientist who brings chaos to this world, Hoin Kyoma. You want to know why I offer you aid? It's because you're one of my cherished lab mems. Well, has your heart been moved? You're so moved that you can't even form words. After our mission goes well, I'm certain you'll feel indebted to my genius tactics. Only then will you allow me into the time machine. You'll even feel comfortable telling me the principles behind it and its construction. Everything is going according to plan. I had to cut myself off. I could feel my emotions taking over. That was a close call. I don't know how to pronounce that. What's so funny?
You're really not honest with yourself, Uncle Ocarine.
What? Nonsense! A more honest human has never existed in this universe.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, this means that yet another person has been charmed by amazing charisma.
Yeah, you might be right.
Eh.
Okay, that's enough worrying for a lifetime. I'm feeling way better now. Thanks a lot, Uncle Ocarine.
Didn't I tell you to stop calling me that?
All right, that you did. Sorry, Uncle Ocarine.
Damn you! There are only 2 days left until Komima. It's do or die. The next day, Daru's nowhere to be found. Not all that surprising considering it's only been a day since everything went down. I doubt he wants to see me right now. If I had to guess, I'd bet he's at home working. It's kind of weird for someone who calls himself a super haka to dwell in the past, but Daru's not being here is actually pretty convenient for us.
Here's a photo of my mom.
SUZUHA holds up her cell phone. There's a photo of a woman with a dazzling smile on the screen. In her arms, she's holding a young child with an equally beaming smile, almost like the sun. This must be SUZUHA when she was a kid. Unfortunately, Daru isn't in the photo. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't curious about what Daru looks like as a proper adult.
I probably should have showed you this sooner.
To be fair, I didn't think you were just walking around with a photo of your mom in your pocket.
I guess most normal people don't do that, hey?
It was just a minute ago. SUZUHA showed up at the lab, excitedly announcing that she had a photo of her mother. One can imagine my surprise at finding out she'd just forgotten to show me the photo she had. Though I suppose I'm partially to blame for not ever asking if she had one in the first place. Oh, and tangentially related, apparently there's a rule that any data on your cell phone has to contain as little information regarding your future as possible. That's all in the past. At least now I have a little more to go on regarding your mother. This is good progress.
Really? You think we can fix things?
It's too early to say. Anyway, let's use what we have now to search the net. If Manayuki is a cosplayer, there might be photos online. We could use that to track it down, or at least find some info on her. I use the afternoon to run through every cosplay image I can find in an attempt to locate Yuki's photos.
How'd it go?
SUZUHA excitedly asks me once we've met up again, but I slowly shake my head back and forth.
Nothing yet, huh?
I continue to look at cosplay sites until the evening, even looking into photos from past Komima events. I have zero luck. I even end up heading into Akihabara with a photo of Yuki in hand, going from cosplay shop to cosplay shop. If I were a cosplayer, I'd be a regular at these sorts of places. Unfortunately, I once again come up empty-handed. Now that I think about it, fads in the genre come and go at a blistering pace, so she might hand-make her costumes to fit whatever's hot at the time. It's even possible that she has a friend who makes cosplay for her, like Mayuri or something. There's no guarantee that she uses any of these stores.
My mom always used to brag about how she was a pretty popular cosplayer, but I wonder if she was just exaggerating.
Who knows? It's also possible that she only just recently started. Which would mean that she's not actually famous yet. That said, there's always the chance that she was exaggerating or lying, but she's quite beautiful. I think it's safe to believe she was popular.
Oh?
SUZUHA looks at me with a knowing smile. What is it?
Beautiful, huh?
Yeah, so what?
You think my mom's beautiful?
I recall the photograph inside my mind. Well, I'm sure most people would agree. Honestly, she's wasted on Daru.
I see. So she's beautiful.
What are you getting at?
Nothing. It's just people always say I look a lot like my mom.
Well, you certainly didn't take after Daru. For a moment, I imagined Daru with his hair in braids. Ugh. That was a mistake. So, what's your point?
Geez, you really don't get it? You think my mom's beautiful, right? So if I look like my mom, that means...
SUZUHA has a huge smile on her face. You're 10 years too young.
What?
Don't get ahead of yourself. A little girl like you is still 10 years too young to be called a beautiful woman.
In 10 years, you'll be an old geezer, Okabe Rintaro. You'll be over 50.
Shut up. Quit thinking of me like you're in 2036. What's she getting so angry over? And anyway, now's not the time for petty squabbles.
Aha!
Oh, no, that's not SUZUHA. Ah, this is...
What? You found her?
No, upon closer inspection, they look nothing alike. Oh. With no other options left to me, I ended up going back to my search on the internet. Sadly, my results are less than stellar. How'd it go for you? Couldn't find anything, I take it?
Not a thing.
SUZUHA was looking through Mayuri's cosplay magazines, but had no luck. We've got nothing to show for our hard work. At this point, it's probably useless to keep the search going. We only have a day left until Komima. After tomorrow, that's it. The event starts. Our best bet now is to focus on getting Daru there rather than trying to locate him on a Yuki. But after yesterday, that's not going to be easy. No matter how hard I rack my brain, I can't come up with a scenario in which he'd go to Komima if I invited him. But what if SUZUHA invited him instead? Needless to say, we already gave that a shot. However, his answer was no. I figured he'd probably be incapable of saying no to a request from SUZUHA, but apparently he's really focused on his work. He's probably thinking that it's okay to miss out on some fun now because eventually his hard work will bear fruit further down the line. But we can't let things continue as is. We have to get Daru to Komima no matter what. And there's another problem on top of all that. Daru needs to feel like it's destiny.
Destiny?
Exactly. Simply getting them to meet isn't going to be enough. If we want to play it safe, we need to make sure that Daru feels like his meeting with the Manayuki at Komima was even more fateful than what happened with you. We need to impress upon him that it is the choice of Steins Gate.
So basically we need to manipulate things so my mom seems like his destined partner.
Exactly. That said, he ended up thinking that you were the love of his life just because of a hug. If we can do something similar with Manayuki, we'll accomplish our mission.
It sounds good, but Komima is only a day away. Are we going to be able to do this?
SUZUHA's expression darkens. Ever since last night, she's been trying her best to keep her uneasiness from surfacing, but just for a moment, her true feelings creep out. I don't blame her. I pretend that I didn't see it.
Good evening, Okain. How are you doing?
Mary enters the lab, 120% more cheerful than usual. She's probably still thinking about the incident yesterday. I don't want her to have to worry about things, so I respond as normally as possible. Mayuri, done with work?
Nope, I need to go give Fubuki-chan and Kaede-chan their Komima costumes now.
At the edge of the room, I see big paper bags with costumes in them. You probably made them when I wasn't around. Got it. Be careful, it's already dark outside.
Maybe she's not a little kid. It'll be fine. It's Suzuha-san! Suzuha-san, do-do-do! Daru. Oh, Suzuha-san, don't tell me.
Mayuri happily trots over to Suzuha. She peeks at the magazine she's holding.
I knew it! Are you interested in cosplay, Suzuha-san? Huh? Oh, well, I guess I sorta am. Really? And do you want to try cosplaying at Komima the day after tomorrow? To tell you the truth, I really wanted to make a certain costume and I did, but there's no way to wear it, and I was wondering what to do.
Mayuri looks at Suzuha from top to bottom.
Yeah, Maishi thinks it would be a perfect fit on you, Suzuha-san. But I have things to do the day after tomorrow, right, Okabe Rintaro?
Cosplay, huh? I see. I get it now. That's the only option left.
Huh? Are you listening to me?
Mayuri, I need a favor from you.
Favor? If Mayushi listens, will Suzuha-san cosplay? Wait, I said I can't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really? Wait, Okabe Rintaro, do you realize what you're saying? What do you want me to do?
I'd like you to prepare the following things. I put my mouth up to Mayuri's ear and whisper what I need. So, can you do it?
Yeah, okay with me. It just has to be ready by tomorrow evening, right?
Yep, I'm counting on you.
There's a small price to pay if it means Suzuha-san will wear my new costume.
I said
Oh no, I'm going to be late. I have to go see Fubuki-chan and Kaede-chan. Anyway, Mayushi will bring the stuff tomorrow evening.
Mayuri hurriedly grabs the paper bags from the corner of the room, then cheerfully rushes out of the lab.
Okabe Rintaro, you realize I can't cosplay, right?
It'll be fine. You have the elite blood of both an otaku and a cosplayer flowing through your veins. You'll be a natural.
Is that supposed to be a compliment?
Putting Suzuha's grumbling aside, I take my cell phone out of my pocket. Now, all that's left is... I select the appropriate name from my phone's contact list and press the call button. The phone rings several times, then finally connects.
What do you want?
That's no way for an assistant to greet her boss.
How many times do I have to tell you I'm not your assistant?
Details. That doesn't matter right now.
Doesn't matter? You're the one who brought it up.
Fine, whatever. Anyway, I called because there's something I wanted to ask you.
And what might that be?
Do you have any interest in cosplay? The next night, I'm waiting in front of the lab for a certain someone to arrive. Operation Sjöfn has entered its final stage. This is it, the last piece of the puzzle.
Hey, is he really gonna come?
Don't worry, he'll come. I reply to the voice coming from behind me inside the brown tube workshop. Just don't show yourself, no matter what. Leave the rest to me, understand?
Aren't we around the same age? Don't you think you're being kind of bossy?
What do you expect? I'm a mad scientist of chaos. It's what I do.
That's not a reason.
Quiet, he's here. I can feel her presence practically disappear. As she vanishes, I see a massive frame come into view from out of the twilight. Huh? You waiting for me this whole time, Ocarine? Yeah, I'm here to apologize to you. Take this as a sign of how serious I am. I turn and face Daru as he walks straight up to me. Then, I bow deeply. I'm sorry about the other day. I have no idea what I was thinking saying things like that. Forgive me, please. What? You don't need a bow like that. Like I said on the phone, I feel pretty bad about what happened too. So come on, lift up your head. It's all water in the bridge, right? No, I can't let this go. Not to mention, I made you come all the way out here. Let me at least treat you to a hot meal. Well, I guess if you really want to. I'll take you up on your offer. Today around noon, I called Daru. At first, perhaps due to what happened on the other day, he didn't answer. I didn't give up though, and after several minutes of calls, I managed to get him on the phone. That was when I apologized to him as best I could. Daru's attitude toward the whole thing almost caused me to lose my cool several times, but SUZUHA managed to keep me calm. Daru said he was still busy with work, but I persuaded him to meet with me so I could at least buy him a meal. That brings us to the present. This all worked out as well as it has because Daru's very easy to read. I'm an observant person, so I have a good handle on when Daru tends to get hungry. So, where are we going? Good question. What would you like to eat, Daru? This is my way of making things right, so I want to do what makes you happy. Alright then, let's eat. I'll have Renchikatsu at Kitchen Jiro. Thank goodness. I was afraid of him saying he wanted to eat at Maru 4 or something. At least Daru hasn't completely lost his mind. I got it. Then let's head to Jiro. 1, 2, 3, 4, let's go eat. Perhaps due to his own hunger, Daru's in high spirits. He sings his bizarre song as we start walking in the direction of Kitchenjiro. The menchikatsu at Kitchenjiro is seriously the best. Damn straight. After finishing our meal, the two of us are walking side by side through an alley at night. Compared to my full stomach, the less said about the current state of my wallet, the better. Though I guess now's not the time to worry about the little things. After coming this far, I can only pray that things go well. Hey, passersby. Ocarine, did you say something? No, I've been quiet this whole time. Huh, that's strange. I could have swore I heard a voice just now. Hey, passersby. I love it. A strange fortune teller on the side of the road motions at us. A veil covers her head completely, making it impossible to see her face. Are you talking to us?
That's correct. Would you care to have your fortunes told?
Huh? Well, this is a first. Oh, whatever, let's just go.
What? Hey, wait! Hold up, Daru.
Daru attempts to just walk off, but I manage to stop him. What's up, Ocarine? I have work to do. But this fortune teller is offering us an opportunity here. How about at least taking a look?
That's right. Why else do you think I waited here over 10 minutes for you?
Hey, Ocarine. What is it? Is it just me, or is this fortune teller being a little too buddy-buddy with us? No way, we've definitely never met her before, right?
Yes, but of course.
More importantly, how about it? Let's at least take her up on her offer.
I'd be willing to make your first time free, my lieges.
Lieges? Is she nobility or something? It is weird.
Don't sweat the details. Come on, let's have her tell her fortunes.
I'll pass. I don't believe in that sort of stuff. If you want to try it so badly, do it yourself, Ocarine. Wait a sec. If I remember correctly, at one point, didn't you go on about how fortune tellers are all idiots?
Huh? Oh, really? I don't recall ever saying anything like that.
No, I remember, you totally did. You said it right when Mayushi and Ryukishi were talking about how fortune telling was popular at their school. Ryukishi invited you to give it a try, and you started crying after you lectured him about it.
So, yeah, maybe something like that happened once.
I'm a changed man. I don't believe that anymore. Oh, and also, Mayuri said this fortune teller has a great reputation. Wait, for reals?
Yeah, that's why I think there's a good chance to... You there in the white robes.
The fortune teller suddenly shouts at me.
From what I see, your words and deeds appear to be rather abrasive. Did you by chance have a quarrel with the man next to you recently?
Whoa.
If you continue causing problems to those around you, you'll eventually end up alone. Specifically, there's a girl who's just returned from living overseas. You should treat her better.
Wait a sec. You be talking about Makoteshi?
Sounds like it.
Oh, that's amazing. You can even see stuff like that?
I see all. So, would you like to? What's this? I can see something. You'll experience a great shift in your love life soon.
Hey, my love life? Really?
Yes, let me see.
The fortune teller awkwardly places her hand over the crystal ball.
Great Scott!
What is it? Is something bad?
In the next 2 or 3 days, you will have a fateful encounter. The location, I can't quite see it. It's near the ocean? A large building, a triangular shape.
Triangular shaped building near the ocean. Is that Kamima?
MOE KYUN.
Huh?
That's the keyword when you meet your fated partner. These are the words that will pass your lips. Listen carefully. MOE KYUN. Remember it well.
MOE KYUN.
Why the heck did I agree to this?
After walking Daru to the main street, I went back and found Kurisu grumbling to herself. I'm certain nobody realized it, but the fortune teller from earlier was actually Kurisu. I had her cosplay. You're full of it. I saw how excited you were when I asked you to cosplay yesterday.
Huh? All you asked is whether I was interested in cosplay or not. When I finally showed up to see what you were getting at, you suddenly told me I needed to hide my face and pretend to be a fortune teller. Stop twisting things around.
Oh, sounds to me like you were looking forward to cosplaying.
What? That's not funny. Do I look like I had fun?
Well, she says, but when she arrived at the lab this evening, she seemed rather giddy. Don't press her too hard, though. She was a big help today. To be honest, Christina, I'm surprised you agreed to help me out. Considering her attitude towards me the other day, even. Do you believe what I said?
You mean the whole Amane-san being Hashida's daughter thing? No way, you'd have to be an idiot to believe something like that.
Then why?
Well, after everything went down, I thought about it a little more. Felt like you had to have a reason for acting the way you did.
Kurisu.
And plus, you're not exactly the romantic type. You don't strike me as the sort of person who'd work all that hard to break two people up.
Is that a compliment or an insult?
You tell me.
For a fleeting moment, it looks like Kurisu flashes me a sincere smile. Maybe it's just my imagination playing tricks on me.
Anyway, what was it with that MOE KYUN thing? Is that really what you wanted me to say?
Yep, you nailed it. Kurisu's expression suggests that she still doesn't understand what any of this is about. I don't blame her, but it's not like she'd be any better informed if I gave her the whole story. Anyway, thanks for today. I'll use my amazing intellect to repay this debt one day.
Hey wait, what am I supposed to do with this outfit?
Consider it a memento. You can wear it as much as you like. Indulge yourself in the world of cosplay.
I don't want it!
With everything there having wrapped up, I meet up with SUZUHA. Well, the goods have changed hands?
Yep, how'd it go for you?
Perfect.
I see. Do you think things will work out?
Yeah, it'll be fine. He'll definitely come. At the end of the day, it's no more than wishful thinking on my part. I recall my exchange with Daru right before we parted ways. Oh, wow, a fateful encounter. You must be excited. Huh? What are you talking about, O'Green? Do you seriously believe what she was saying? What? She's supposed to be super accurate. How she even knew about us? Maybe, but that MOE KYUN thing was ridiculous. Nobody would ever actually say that. Yeah, but I have SUZUHA done, so who cares? What's wrong? Nothing. More importantly, we've got an early day tomorrow. Get some sleep, got it?
Okay.
Will the goddess of fate smile upon us, or will she turn her back to our struggle? The hour of judgment is close at hand.
What's going on? Komima gets this crowded?
SUZUHA's first words upon arriving at the International Exhibition Center don't surprise me in the slightest. Everyone reacts that way their first time. I've come here a number of times with my Yuri, but I'm still surprised every time.
Looks like this year is gonna be packed too.
Well, it is a 3-day gathering of the otakuist among otaku from around the world. A festival by otaku for otaku. Comic Giga Market, known more commonly as Komima, is held twice a year for 3 days each. Once during the summer and once during the winter. Apparently, the summer event alone sees more than 500,000 visitors.
How are we gonna find Mom when there's so many people?
Don't worry, there's a place called the Cosplay Square, and that's where we'll find the cosplayers.
Really? And if we go there, we can find her?
Precisely. That being said, if she's part of a doujin circle or working as a cosplayer for a company store, that might not be the case. I keep this to myself.
Hey! Mom's cosplayer, Suzu-san? Well, yeah, I guess. Wow, that's nice. I wonder if I can get my mom to cosplay too. You want your mom to cosplay? Yeah, then maybe she could make cosplay outfits for her. I tried asking her once before, but she said no.
You actually ask? Normally, people have to queue up in the general admissions line to get into Komima. But with the crowds being as bad as they are, we wouldn't be able to get in until afternoon, resulting in us potentially missing our chance to meet Amane Yuki. So we had Mayuri ask someone she knows to procure exhibitor tickets for us. Problem solved. Usually these tickets are only given to actual exhibitors, but considering the situation, I'm hoping they look the other way. Here it is, the holy grounds in which cosplayers show off their craft to the world. It is the Cosplay Square.
Thanks for waiting, Joaquin.
Upon hearing a familiar voice from behind, I turn around. Standing there is...
Hey!
I freeze up the moment I see her. Is this really SUZUHA? What? Oh. Check out the outfit! Fancy! Alright.
I've never worn something like this before. It's kind of embarrassing.
He's wearing an extremely frilly outfit with a checkered pattern on it. A far cry from the activewear she normally has on.
What do you think? She's dressed up as Mei from Phantom Breaker. It's a super duper popular fighting game. To be honest, Mayushi's been working on this with Suzu-san in mind for a while now. Come on, Suzu-san, say it like it just be practice. Alright. Candy, give me strength. Or something? Well, how do I look? Come on. Oh. Come on, Ocarina, don't just stare. Say something to her.
It's... That was the wrong voice, whatever. It's just like they say. Anybody can look good in the right clothes.
What's that supposed to mean? It took a lot to work up the courage to wear this. You could at least compliment me a little. Suzuha, when Ocarina acts like this, it's because of being shy. Huh? Really?
Nonsense! I'm not being shy about anything.
And you give me strength.
Ugh. I swear I'm not... Shouldn't be. More importantly, did you get a reply from Daru?
Ah.
Suzuha quietly shakes her head. Last night and this morning, Suzuha emailed Daru to tell him that starting today she'd be cosplaying at Komima. Is it crunch time at work, or is he just pretending to have not read the emails? Either way, he hasn't replied.
May I take a photo of you? Suzuha, he's asking if he can take a photo. Huh? Me? That's right. Everyone wants to take photos of you. Everyone? What? Where the heck did all these people come from?
Of course she's shocked. While we were talking, a large number of camera-equipped men had gathered around her. Suzuha gives me a concerned look. It's common courtesy to let people take photos here.
What?
Don't worry, I got this handled. Go get some pictures taken.
Okay then. Please make a pose. A pose? Suzuha, you just need a pose like that illustration I showed you earlier. Oh, that one? Like this? Yeah, now please say your line. It's time for my big transformation. Here goes, Pion. Whoa, she even sounds like Meitan.
Again, say it again.
It's time for my big transformation. Here goes, Pion.
It doesn't look like she's going anywhere for the time being. But there's no point in my getting wrapped up in this too.
Everyone, please line up.
But geez, I never expected a line like this. He really is a natural-born cosplayer. I might not have seen this coming, but that makes a little difference. I leave my area to take care of Suzuha and focus my attention on figuring out if Yuki is here or not. My legs feel heavy as we walk back to the station. In the end, Manayuki was nowhere to be found. I'm not sure if we simply missed her or she never showed up at all. Daru didn't come either.
How was it, Suzuha? That was your big debut. I was super nervous at first, but once I got used to it, I had a blast. Right? I didn't have time to make more than one cosplay. I'll make a bunch for Winter Komima. That way you can wear a different outfit every day. That'd be great. Winter, huh? I'm looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it, huh? On our way back, Mayuri tells us she has some shopping she needs to do, so we part ways. Suzuha and I find ourselves back here. Did you have fun at your first Komima?
Oh, I'm sorry. I know now's not the time to be enjoying myself.
Clearly she picked up on the tone of my voice. Suzuha is apologetic.
But it was funny, you know? Thinking about how my mom did the same thing when she was young. And when I act like I'm having fun, I don't have to think about all the bad things happening.
Suzuha gazes straight at the sunset.
Not too long ago, when I looked at my hands, I could see them turning transparent. I got scared.
No. Does that mean Suzuha's very existence is beginning to vanish?
That was a dream I had.
Oh, it was just a dream? Jeez, don't scare me like that.
Sorry, I could have worded that better. But after having that dream, I couldn't stop picturing it, me vanishing into nothing.
Suzuha. I'm blown away by my own foolishness. She have possibly enjoyed herself. She could vanish into the void without a moment's warning. It could even happen tomorrow. There's no way she'd be able to enjoy herself. Suzuha was simply forcing herself to have fun. Nothing more, nothing less.
There's something I wanted to ask you.
What is it?
Even if it's just for a little while, can you hold my hand?
She extends her small hand out towards me. I can tell that it's trembling ever so slightly. I put my own hand over hers. Almost as though I was confirming that Suzuha still exists. It's okay, we still have 2 days. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Suzuha grasps my hand tightly and nods. However, I'm sure even Suzuha realizes that my words are empty. No more than an attempt to give her peace of mind. Then, just as I expected, The next day, Yuki and Daru were nowhere to be found. So normally I would be cutting this here, but I have no idea how much of this is left, and so I'm just going to power through to the end of this route, because fuck it, why not?
Over here, look this way, please. Big smile, please.
SUZUHA flashes the camera's a rigid smile. It's past 1 p.m. It's already been over 3 hours since Komima opened for its third and final day. Today's our last chance. If we can't get Daru and Amane Yuki to meet before the end of the day, this might be the end of the line for SUZUHA. And yet, SUZUHA still hasn't received any sort of reply from Daru. If you heard that the girl you liked was going to cosplay, wouldn't you normally want to see that? Not to mention, this is Daru we're talking about. There's zero chance that he isn't interested. We've even laid other breadcrumbs too. Yet here we are, no Daru in sight. Maybe he really doesn't intend on showing up. What about Amane Yuki? I initially thought we might have just not noticed her, but if a total cosplay novice like SUZUHA can have a crowd like this, there's no way a popular cosplayer like Amane Yuki wouldn't stand out like a sore thumb. Is Amane Yuki just not coming? According to SUZUHA, she's supposed to meet Daru for the first time here. Which means... I suddenly realized a possibility I had overlooked. What if this is connected to the email I sent earlier? Did I have completely changed the future? What if I create a future in which Amane Yuki and Daru never meet? What if... I can feel a chill run down my spine. If that's the case, I've got mail! An email? From assistant! Just now,
I saw Hashida over at the Tokyo Big Sight station. He was carrying a bouquet of flowers and everything. Oh, well, he stood out like crazy, lol.
What is this? It's stupidly obvious that she's an Nat channel user. Ah, who cares about that? More importantly, SUZUHA, Daru's here!
Huh?
SUZUHA immediately runs over to me. I hear disgruntled voices coming from the cameraman, but I couldn't care less right now.
That's here?
Yeah, I just got an email from Kurisu. You spotted him at the station. It's probably better that I don't ask why Kurisu's here in the first place.
So Daru couldn't really did come.
You know he'd show up? Oh my god! I can't read. You knew he'd show up?
Yesterday, Mayushi sent him a photo of Suzu-san's cosplay. I told him she's even cuter in person.
Great work, Mayuri.
What should we do?
First things first, we need to secure Daru. Got it.
Yo, Green, Suzu-san, where are you going?
We'll be back later. If you happen to see Daru, just grab him and make sure he doesn't go anywhere. There are only a few routes from the station to Big Sight. We run towards the outside in an attempt to avoid the crowds.
Excuse me, where are the cosplay changing rooms?
Someone tries to ask us for directions along the way, but I don't have time to help.
Sorry, I'm in a hurry right now. Oh, I'm so sorry, this is my first time coming to Komima and I got separated from my friends. I don't know what to do.
The woman who called out to me starts muttering to herself, but I don't have time to worry about her right now. I'm here to find Daru. Wait. I could have sworn I've seen her somewhere before. Ah! There is my voice, prompting SUZUHA to turn around and look back at me.
What's wrong?
That was Amane Yuki!
What?
That woman just now, I knew I'd seen her somewhere before. She's Amane Yuki!
You've gotta be kidding me. You saw Mom? Where?
She was just over... I turn around, but the waves of people have already moved along and Yuki's nowhere to be found. Wait, she was asking where the changing rooms were.
Changing rooms. I'll go take a look.
Hey, SUZUHA! SUZUHA vanishes into the throngs of people before I can stop her. Tokyo Big Sight becomes almost impossibly crowded during Komima. I know this place like the back of my hands, but even I can get lost. Is she going to be okay? There's no point in searching for SUZUHA right now. I head out of the building alone, looking for Daru. Surrounded by crowds of people going from the east wing to the west wing and vice versa, I keep pushing towards the exit. If Daru's here somewhere, he's probably following the crowds headed for the cosplay square. According to Kurisu's email, Daru was holding a large bouquet of flowers. Someone like that would normally stick out, but in a place like this, he's just going to blend in with the colorful crowds of cosplayers. To make sure I don't miss him, I carefully scan everyone I pass while making my way forward. I also tried calling Daru's cell phone, but he probably doesn't even notice his phone ringing right now. Excuse me, let me through, please. I snake my way through the sea of people. Time-wise, all the visitors in the standby line are being let in right about now. It is when Komima is at its most crowded. People as far as the eyes can see. I end up bumping into a number of folks. Clicking tongues. Angry voices. I hear people in the distance shouting and telling me not to run. Please, just let me go this one time. I finally make my way outside. Needless to say, it's packed out here too. Daru's... My phone's ringing. What is it? Did you find Yuki?
Sorry, I couldn't find her. Oh, and, I got lost.
You got lost? See, what did I say?
I'm sorry, okay?
There's no point in crying over spilled milk. Just ask the staff for directions and head back to the cosplay square. Mayuri should still be there.
Got it. How are things on your end?
Nothing yet. In the corner of my eye, I see a large frame pass by. It's Daru, I found him! I'll bring him over to you right away. I run off, hanging up without waiting for an answer. Daru! I loudly shout his name, but he continues to march along without so much as batting an eye. Perhaps he didn't hear me? Daru, can you hear me? Daru! After yelling his name several times, he finally stops walking and looks around. Daru, it's me! Over here! I'm over here! I wave my hands as I run toward him. Daru's eyes open wide when he finally realizes it was me shouting his name. He was right, he's holding a large bouquet of flowers. Green, wait, what are you doing here? What do you mean? I was trying to call you this whole time. Why didn't you answer? Call me? Oh, look at that. Sorry, I didn't even notice. Whatever, that doesn't matter anymore. What matters is that you come with me. Huh? Hey, wait. He tries to object, but it matters little. I drag Daru by the hand and start walking. Green, what are you doing? I have something important to do right now. It is even more important. Someone's very birth is on the line. Wait, is someone going into labor? You need a doctor, not me. Are you yelling for a doctor? I've seen that work on TV before. I don't mean it like that. Look, there's no time to explain. Just come with me to the cosplay square. Cosplay square? There's someone you need to see. You mean SUZUHA-tan? Perfect, these flowers are for... What? Daru nearly begins to ramble again, but instead starts to scream as I walk faster, dragging him along. What was the scream? Not whatever I did. Whoops. He pushed down the path I just came from, this time in the other direction. Whoa. Sorry, coming through. Oh, hey, you're walking too fast. Okay, wait. It feels like there are even more people here now. Having to tow Daru around certainly isn't making this any easier. But wait, okay, don't walk so fast. Yes, we still have time left. I could probably afford to slow things down. But who knows when we might get our chance to fix things. I'm hardly in the mood to take a chill pill. Can you at least let go of my hand? I'll follow you, I promise. Fine, just don't lose sight of me. I let go of Daru's hand and push up against the waves of people. I look back to check on Daru every so often, and we finally make it to our destination. Over here, Daru. What? I take a good look around the cosplay square. If I remember correctly, Amanayuki was searching for the cosplay changing room. In that case, there's a good chance that she'll be headed here. You could be among... Akame Rintaro! SUZUHA sees me and runs over.
I'm sorry, I can't find Mom.
I see. However, I did manage to bring Daru. That's one half of the problem solved. Our chances for success are at least better than zero.
Akame Rintaro? Where's Dad?
Daru's right over... When I turn around, Daru is no longer behind me. Why that little... Did he get lost? Daru, where are you?
Akame Rintaro, over here.
I take a good look and spot Daru about 10 meters behind me, lying prone on the concrete like a frog that tried and failed to cross the street. He must have tripped and fallen. I start to make my way over. But then...
Wait!
What's wrong?
Look!
SUZUHA's pointing at something or someone. I follow her line of sight.
Are you okay?
Huh? Standing over Daru is a young woman in a maid cosplay.
Mom!
There's no mistaking it. She's a lot younger than she is in the photo, but... That is undoubtedly Amanayuki, SUZUHA's mother. Yuki looks down at Daru, a concerned expression on her face. Daru looks up at Yuki, dazed and confused. The two of them continue gazing at each other for some time. It's as though the two of them are frozen in time. SUZUHA and I watch their fateful encounter in complete silence. Yuki is the first one to speak.
Are you okay? Are you hurt?
No, I'm okay.
I see. Thank goodness.
Yuki smiles like she doesn't have a worry in the world. Her smile really does resemble SUZUHA's, though I suppose it's actually the opposite.
Here, use this.
She takes a handkerchief out of her pocket and Daru slowly reaches for it. His mouth starts opening and closing like he's trying and failing to form words. I... I want to spend the rest of my life with you. MOE KYUN, will you marry me? His grand proposal echoed through the venue. With every step, sweat falls from my cheek. I make my way towards my destination, the heat bearing down on me. The memory of Daru's embarrassing proposal at Komima is still fresh in my mind. Where am I headed, you ask? I climb the stairs to the 7th floor, then open the door connected to the rooftop. The sounds of heavy iron creaking rings through the area, and the light of the sun turns my vision white. Huh? I knew it. I figured you'd be here. After my vision recovers, the first thing I see is SUZUHA trying to climb into the time machine. It's 120 million years too soon for a lab mem to leave without saying goodbye.
Okay, Rintaro, why are you here?
You seemed way too cheerful at last night's banquet. I figured you would try to leave today.
What's that supposed to mean? How can you get that from me being cheerful?
Oh, ha 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 ha! You shouldn't underestimate the great Hoin Kyoma. Reading your thoughts is as simple as taking candy from a baby.
Damn, I was hoping to leave without anyone noticing.
She awkwardly scratches her head. Apparently, that's a habit she picked up from her mother.
Oh, speaking of last night, my dad officially dumped me.
He dumped you?
Yep, before the banquet, he stopped by my place out of nowhere. He was all, sorry, there's another girl I love now. I want you to forget about me and find someone else. Sheesh, Dad was really up his own ass, huh?
I suppose that's better than him just laughing it off with a my bed, right? And hey, his misunderstanding is why things worked out with your mother, right? You should probably be grateful.
I guess.
SUZUHA looks up at the blue sky. He's probably thinking about what happened at Komima. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. MOE KYUN, will you marry me? Daru would then go on to present her with the bouquet he had brought with him. You know, the one that had gotten trampled and crushed on the way over. Yuki wasn't the only one frozen in shock. Everyone within 5 meters stopped moving. This goes without saying, but I'm fairly certain nobody watching them would have ever guessed that it was their first time meeting. The crowd watched with bated breath, waiting for her answer to his brave proposal. Hell, we had planned for this to happen, and even we were surprised. SUZUHA and I could only watch in silence, waiting for the outcome. With all eyes on her, Yuki was completely still. But finally...
You're really funny. Who are you cosplaying as?
What guts! She was totally unshaken by what just happened. She wore a huge smile on her face. I'm not cosplaying, I'm serious. My heart skipped a beat when I saw you. Will you marry me?
This is kind of sudden. Oh, but hey, how about this? Let's start as friends.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, what's your name?
I should die Daru, but everyone calls me Daru. How about you?
I'm Yuki. Nice to meet you, Daru-kun.
Pleasure is all mine. Yahoo! I found a real-life angel at Komima. Yuki-chan is totes moe.
Stop it, that's embarrassing.
Ugh, just thinking about what happened is giving me a headache.
My mom told me the story a bunch of times, but that was nothing like how I pictured it.
They've been getting along swimmingly ever since then, so I doubt there's anything to be concerned about. The fact that SUZUHA still exists here now is proof of that. Did Daru and Yuki meet as a result of our meddling, or as the attractor field theory suggests, were they destined to meet regardless of our actions? In the end, I have no answer to that question, but I honestly don't mind not knowing. Let's just say that this was the choice of Steins Gate. By the way, this was actually Yuki's Komima cosplay debut. Even with that being the case, she was showered with attention during the last few hours of the event. There's no doubt that she's going to become a famous cosplayer. Hell, there are already photos of her on the internet. You know, I never thought you'd leave so soon, and without so much as a goodbye, too.
Sorry, I'm not sure I'd be able to go home if I hung out with you any longer.
Why? SUZUHA doesn't answer my question. She simply gives me a sad smile.
Mom and Dad met and got married. It's been almost 19 years since I was born. I mean, yeah, that's a long time, but now that I'm actually here, I finally get it. That really is a long time.
What are you talking about?
Nothing, don't worry, I'm just talking to myself.
SUZUHA straightens herself out and faces me, signaling that she's done talking about it.
Anyway, thanks for everything, Uncle Ocarine.
Can I tell you to stop calling me that? By the way, I forgot to ask you. In the future, have you and I met? Yeah, it's a little late to be asking questions, but I can't help it. I'm curious.
Yeah, we have, but it was only once, and I was super little at the time. I don't really remember much from back then.
Only once? You'd been calling me uncle this whole time like we were close or something, so I figured we'd have met each other a bunch of times.
Yep, you apparently get together with Dad a bunch, though. I wonder why you never come to see me.
Maybe I'm still traumatized by the memory of you dragging me around.
You big jerk.
Her carefree smile doesn't resemble Daru in the least.
Alright, do you have anything else you want to ask before I leave? About the future or something? Since you helped me out, I'll answer one question.
Well then.
But I can't answer any questions about the time machine.
Curses, caught in the act! Something I want to ask, but not about the time machine. Very well, in the future. What am I doing? Who am I with? There are plenty of things I want to ask, but... No, never mind. I don't want to know.
Are you sure?
Yeah, knowing my own future would take the fun out of it.
I see. I guess you're right.
SUZUHA looks at the time. This is it.
Anyway, I'm gonna get going.
SUZUHA extends her right hand to me.
Don't forget me, okay?
You're a lab mem. I'll never forget you. I grasp her hand firmly. She suddenly gives my hand a strong pull, and... What? I can feel a soft sensation against my cheek. Only for a moment. But I know that it's a...
That's just a little charm to make sure you don't forget about me. Anyway, this is it for real now. Thanks, Okabe and Taro. Catch you later.
SUZUHA climbs into the time machine without looking back even once. Then... With a thunderous roar, she vanishes to a time and place, far, far away. A distant time, 26 years away. All I see before me is the blue sky. It's like that hunk of metal had never been here to begin with. Catch you later, eh? It'll be at least 7 years before I see her again. But after I do, I should keep from seeing her for a while. At the very least, not until the time comes when SUZUHA remembers the charm she left on my cheek. Okay, that one was great. Man, these have just been going up in quality. Like, man, god damn it. Like, I loved the Duca one. I loved it so much. And then this one, it's just, it's definitely quiet. The endless blue sky stretches out before my very eyes. It's almost like everything had just been a dream. It's hard to believe that a time machine was sitting here until just a minute ago. She sure was a troublemaker to the very end. When will I be able to tell Daru and the others what happened today? Probably not for a long while, I imagine. I guess I'll just have to work Daru like a racehorse to make up for it. And with that, Operation Syofen is complete. What a wild story. SUZUHA came back to the past, had her own father fall in love with her, then helped to bring her parents together. It really is exactly like that one movie. How did that one end again? Oh right, there was a sequel. After bringing his mother and father together, the hero safely returns to his own time. But right when he's starting to feel some peace of mind... Nah, that'd never happen. There's no way something like that would... Could have sworn I just... A booming sound suddenly erupts in the area. Everything goes white. What just happened? No way. This couldn't possibly... My vision slowly returns to normal and...
Good you're here.
I knew it!
Ooh, the young version ain't too shabby either.
Huh?
Never mind. Now's not the time for that. You need to come with me right now.
To where?
The future's in big trouble. I need your help, Rin Rin.
Huh?
Just hurry up and get in.
Wait, let me just ask you something. Looks like I'm in for yet another wild SUZUHA ride. But you know what? I'm kind of okay with that.
Nope, no waiting. Come on, we're going, Rin Rin.
Why are you calling me Rin Rin? Now that was hecking adorable. Oh my god. I think I don't know. I really, really liked the Ruka one. But I also really liked that one. That one might have climbed to the top. Ooh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. But for now, we only have one left. And that's the Mayuri route, and that one is tricky to get to, I believe, because you can't just get it from the same nexus that you get everything else from. So, like, if you... Yeah, you've got those 4 resets of the time machine, D-mail, whatever the shit. Number 12. But then, if you don't do any of those 4, what was it? Moeka, Ferris, Ruka, SUZUHA, then you get the Kurisu ending. The Mayuri ending is tricky and secret, and I don't remember how to do it. I'm gonna have to do some research. But, for now, thank you all so much for following my playthrough of Steins Gate, My Darling's Embrace. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye now!